Label House is a family-owned business that has been in operations for 39 years. It's a manufacturing firm that produces labels and packages for over 100 companies in the country and in the region. Director Ryan Lewis tells us how his company is doing given the slowdown in the economy.
You would have gone through the different cycles. Is this one tougher from the other economic downturns that the economy would have had to endure?
It shows similar signs of ones before. I think it has a different dynamic, but I think it seems to be one that might last a little longer than the ones before. So it's interesting to see how the economy, how the industry reacts to it, and how we as manufacturers drive us out of it. Because if you look at the last three recessions, manufacturing has been the driving force behind coming out of recessions.
How has this impacted your business so far? Have you seen a reduction in orders? Because your label house, you're obviously, what is the demand like right now?
Well, the local demand has reduced slightly, and what we've done is we operate in 25 countries. So what we've done is to look at our other regions to see how we can push export business. So we have seen a contraction in the past year, but it has really pushed us to go further into the other islands, into Central America, to try and drive exports. Where we have seen reduction in the entire economy is B2C. So the customers out there are the ones that are feeling the pinch and the value. And we're a B2B company. So where we see, the question we always get asked is, we need some more value for our spend. So that's where we're seeing the pinch, and everybody's asking for better prices, for better supply arrangements. So that's really where we've seen the impact.
So under labeling, how many companies are you doing business for?
Over 100 companies around the region.
And so in Trinidad and Tobago, have you seen a cutback on that? Are people still renewing? Because they have new products coming out, so you obviously need labels.
Yes.
But if their demand has dropped for their products, they won't need as many labels as they would have when things are good. What are you seeing?
Yeah, we are seeing a reduction. We are seeing a reduction in the demand, but we're also seeing a tighter schedule on deliveries. So they are becoming more, they have to plan better. So I wouldn't say the volumes themselves have dropped drastically, but I think the planning and the production timelines have changed considerably. And then obviously the ask for better pricing, the ask for better, as I said, supply arrangements, credit facilities. This is what has changed.
And have you reduced your prices to accommodate them?
We have made arrangements with adjustments, I would say, with the customers. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a price reduction. I would say maybe we have worked on volume deliveries at different staggered deliveries or longer credit terms, but we have not really reduced prices per se, no.
And on your side, what are your costs like? Have you seen an increase in your costs?
Yes, we have. Obviously, the inputs have been increased. We've seen the dollar moving from 6.38 to 6.78. When you see an increase of 8% like that, your inputs, some of our inputs come from the US, and so we've seen an impact in that. And we've had to absorb that because the market can't absorb an adjustment in price.
What do you import?
We import inks, we import some of the substrates as well. That's not the key to our business, And then also you have like parts for machinery, for the presses.
So and what about getting the foreign exchange?
It's been very difficult. You queue up just like everybody else. So you have to make sure that you have the capital resources to buy when it comes available. But it's been difficult. We do export. We try to export more so we can get better access to US dollars. But it's been difficult.
Has your export market grown over the past year?
Yes, it has.
Where do you export to?
We export to 25 countries. We've seen increases in the Caribbean region as well, Barbados and Jamaica, etc.
Being a family business, a lot of companies are downsizing now because of the tough times in the economy. Have you been forced to do that?
No. At this point in time, we have made, at the board, we made it a point that we would not lay off any staff. We made it a point that we would maintain the same staffing levels that we have now.
When things get tough, some companies tend to cut back on staff. How do you feel about that?
I think that's the wrong idea. I think what you need to look at is your staff complement and really Maybe you might want to get the wrong fit out, but you still need to maintain the right amount of people for the job. It's a tough economy, and to put someone out on the street now without a job, nobody wants to do that.
You think being a family business that you tend to look after the interest of your employees as opposed to another company that might not be a family-run business?
Well, I can't really speak for other businesses, but as Label House is a family business, we do treat every employee here like a family member. We always have. We know them all by name. All 162 employees, we do know them by name. We do treat them like family.
Crime is one of the major factors affecting the cost of business. How is it affecting you?
I would say it affects us because, remember, although we're B2B, the businesses that we supply labels to are for the consumers, all from everywhere from soft drinks to alcohol to necessities like confectionery. So when the economy feels very unstable, or when the crime situation has people uneasy, spending has contracted. So we get that trickle down effect. Also with our staff, our staff does seem to be very uneasy with the situation in the country, and so we normally run a 24-hour shift. When things are tight, it's hard to run that when you have people who are a little afraid to go home at certain hours, etc. So it has an impact.
Have you cut back your shift system? Like, how long does your production line run? Like, what time?
Our production line can run 24 hours. So right now we're running at a 16-hour shift, but depending on the production, if we have the orders, we'd go 24 hours, but we would schedule accordingly.
Is it difficult to get employees to come out, say, night period?
It's getting more difficult, absolutely.
How do they get home? Some companies have a transport
We
system.
have a transport system for them.
So you have that?
Yes.
And how does that work? Are they dropped home or
They're dropped home. They're dropped home. Yeah. I've been in companies before where you drop them to maybe a transit point, but even that's becoming unsafe. So we want to give. As I said, we have employees here for 20 years. We want even the ones who have been here 3 or 4 years to be here for 20 years. So we want them to feel that we have their well-being in mind.
Not all companies do that, though.
No,
so that is a good
and I think
point.
I think it's something that we stand for. As I said, we're a family company. So at the end of the day, we really want them to feel like a family member. And you wouldn't just have a family member, just throw them out late at night,
When we come back, we'll tell you the story of Travis Ram and his sister and why they decided to become food vendors. Money Matters will be right back.